You could taste
Yeah. We got our own in-house talent here.
Yeah.
Kimberly August.
Big up Kimberly August.
Shout out to Kimberly.
Wildflower.
Hey, Kim in the building. Yes, Kimberly. What's up, Chris? Kimberly, this is fire.
Big tune,
Can we
Kimberly.
just
Big
shout
tune.
out how much
Pop,
talent we have in the circle tonight? Kimberly,
Yeah.
August, pick up yourself. This is not possible anymore.
Yeah. It's a must bust
Yeah,
out
man,
there.
I love it. Every single song. Big tune, you know. Come on, great. And listen, when everybody want to come up the woodwork and talk about I knew her when, just remember,
She was here.
just remember that, you know what, we create a space where you can share your talent. So don't forget to send in your music if you want it featured on the intro or outro of the show. Great talent in the circle. So much. Rich.
Big.
So Kim, big up yourself. Come on, Kim.
Big Tompas is in the building.
What's up?
Oh, hello.
Let me get it.
Yeah, come in. Squeeze.
People, hello, good evening.
Yeah, welcome to the circle. You know, Talk to Tingz. It's episode 10.
Oh.
10. Wow. You know how hard it is, people? You know how hard it is to come 10 consecutive weeks on a Thursday to go to do this? It's hard enough.
Yeah, all Thursday night football around.
Alright, but we love you guys and I love this. So, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to be doing anything else.
Yeah, man, consistency is key.
Mm-hmm.
Big up everybody who's coming through. Daniel, big up yourself.
Yeah,
and shout out to everybody who's in on the 10th episode. I feel like we need to do some sort of engagement. For those of you who are here from start to finish, I'm going to be dropping little Easter eggs, and if your comment reflects that you stayed from start to finish, go ahead and send us a screenshot. We'll try to set something up for you. So we want to thank you for rocking with us for 10 consecutive weeks as well, because it is not easy. Does anybody find it easy to do anything for 10 weeks in a row, yo? So thank you for coming through. Everybody just want to introduce themselves for the new people, new members.
Tompas.
And excuse me for being on my phone. I'm directing people from the event to the group page. The event is just a reminder, y'all.
Yes.
All right.
Introduction.
Everybody, this is the creator, the father, our savior, the loser, whatever. That's Tompas.
What's up, Father Tompas?
Father Tompas.
Wagwan.
You know, TK in the building.
Hey, what's up? It's TK.
Yeah. Your boy Big J. And of course, Lisa Thompson.
Hey.
What up?
Yeah.
We are some of your admin team. Shout out to all of the other admin moderators and to the foundation members, the daily contributors, to the newbies. We see you. Thank you for putting yourself out there, making yourself feel comfortable and at home. If you're new, don't wait for a welcome post. Just hop on and tell us a little something about you. If you're watching tonight on the live, drop a 1 in your comments. Don't forget, if you stay from start to finish, I think I'm going to try to find a way to thank y'all for rocking. So, Jason, topics for the night.
Well, we're going to talk about stuff that happened during the week. One of the first things everyone was talking about was, you know, Mr. What do you call it? Tyrese Gibson? Yeah, Tyrese Gibson, you know? Tyrese Gibson. So, what's up with this guy? You know, was that a show? Is he looking for attention, or is that real, genuine emotion? You know what I mean? Was that legit? A father can't see his daughter, you know, feeling the pain and the anguish. Do you guys think that was legit, or he just putting on a show looking for attention, cussing out The Rock?
I didn't get the connection with The Rock, so I tend to not really pay attention to
he's saying The Rock got hired for a job that he was pitched privately by Tyrese, and he wasn't supposed to go through with it because Tyrese is supposed to make a money off of something. But if The Rock made that deal, he's not going to make his money as fast as he would like. That's what I heard.
And apparently the connection is that, yo, you knew what was going on with my family situation, and we agreed that if one of us takes it, we're all taking it, or we're not taking it. Something like that.
Oh.
It was one of those, nobody's taking it without the other one knowing, basically, the deal. And so what he feels as though is that contributed to his family situation being where it is now, because $13,000 a month for support or legal fees, I can't remember which one it was, and still no headway with what he is going into the deal looking for.
So The Rock messed with his money.
Right, but we have to also put it in the context of the fact that family situations in a court can be extremely highly emotional. So you have emotions, and then you also have a situation where someone is being alleged by whoever the court deems fit to make the primary residence as her proclamation is he's mentally unstable.
Right.
So hence why, and he's not willing to acknowledge it.
That he's crazy?
He's unstable. It doesn't mean it's forever. It just means
because
she right now is
because
saying,
she said so?
yeah, but what happened is that the courts, he doesn't have his child. So usually the courts are trying to work out something like,
saying he's crazy? He's saying
the baby mother. So usually the courts will have something like supervised access, but he hasn't seen his child in 2 months, so he's really, really unraveling. So this is how the Rock situation plays in, because he's feeling like, yo, it's a blame game. If you had given me money, I might have been able to accelerate my process. I might not be in this situation. So it's all stirring for him right now.
Right.
And we saw that on social media. So a few questions that came up was things like, is it a show? Is it true emotions? The abuse thing came into play. A lot of people got heated over that. Well, there's an allegation along with that he's mentally unstable, that there have been abuse.
So, but I saw some circle people saying that it wasn't like just a spank. I like people. They were saying something along the lines of like he knelt in her back or something like that.
The baby mother was saying that happened when she was pregnant.
When she was pregnant?
He used to both and bath when she was pregnant. Here you know.
So what does this have to do with the youth?
Wait, no.
Like, I'm sorry that she went through
He's
that,
saying that my daughter's a good father, my daughter's happy. Anytime my daughter, she's always smiling. The social media presentation or the social media image craft of his daughters is happy. I could tell you right now, kids go to see their other parent happy. They don't really retain whatever it is that the parent is doing or has done to you. Kids have this super forgiveness power. So that's a big part of why she's always happy. They don't know the backstory. They're just happy to see daddy. So when they are seeing daddy, they're cheesing galore. They're happy. And next thing is somebody brought into play that doesn't mean he's woofing and baffing the daughter. You can be emotionally abusive as well, holding the child hostage to show affection.
I thought I understood that he was abusing physically the daughter.
Yeah, but some people were saying, oh, well, there was some people who got very heated over the abuse piece. One of our key members got very upset about the abuse piece. And one of the things that I think some people were not looking at is that abuse doesn't always have to happen one way. So because one person perceives abuse one way as a child doesn't mean that child's not
whatever his abuse towards her.
Well, yeah. So so here he's saying, I don't abuse my child. She's always happy. Maybe
that's what he was saying.
Yeah. So is he really a good man by kid, or do we know he's
looking
abusing
like
her in the next way?
To me, he's just looking unraveled.
Yeah. Stick up it.
He's saying he can't get a job, but you know what? He's saying that and he's broke. The Rock made a video, and then he made a video, and he's like, oh, look, showing his house. And then he's showing the Beamer, showing the twin turbo, whatever. So here we go. You know what I mean? And this is after the video that he was crying tears. Yeah, he's flossing. Okay. After the video.
Don't forget, we want to hear from you. So if you have a comment or something that you want to add to this, send me a voice note, and I will play your voice notes so that we can talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What do you guys think about Tyrese?
Are we doing one voice note tonight or
1 minute voice note, my friend?
1 minute.
Okay, I love you all, but I will not be playing 2-part.
I've seen some long paragraphs like this. Like this.
If you're sending a voice note, contain yourself to 60 seconds. Sorry, yes. So, okay, so man is showing his things.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I didn't get the correlation between him saying, like, when you're little, you wear chucks, and then now you have the cohibas. Like, What did that have to do with what he was saying with his daughter? I get that Chucks are deemed like hood shoes. Chucks are my favorite shoes, okay? So I couldn't even hear much after he said that because I needed to calm down. So anyway, I get what he's trying to say, but I didn't get how that fit in with him saying that he's not going through something, he's not going to kill himself in terms of like, it's not that bad.
Wow, that was the anchor that he hung that on?
Yeah.
The material goods though?
Yeah, but that was at the end of the video, so I was very confused as to how that related.
Maybe it's what you're saying about how he was like showing his videos to Rock like, I got it, I'm not broke.
Yeah, I'm not
he
broke.
does seem unstable.
Well, one minute he's crying, saying my
boss
balls getting broke, and the next minute he's
I
saying,
can't
but I
get no
haven't.
job, and nobody wants to hire me. Like,
You know what? Listen, let me tell you something. Sometimes, this is why I said there's multiple forms of abuse. Sometimes your children are actually a prop to you and you don't realize it. So the fact that the child is taken away from him could be what's triggering him to actually confront a lot of things he never wanted to. That's why you see him pop down from the left and to the right. So it could be that not seeing the child is what's really pushing him to really have a conversation with himself.
Yeah.
Because he's going here and there.
What's
like,
up, Tom?
I think he's fucked up. Like, I wouldn't be making no video on.
No.
What did she say? The mom said it was bipolar that he doesn't want to
Yeah. But would you do that though?
Would I do that?
So
I wouldn't do that.
no, would you in your depths, you're hurt, you're hurt, something hurt you that bad. So you're gonna go pick your phone now and say, yo, I want to show everybody that I'm hurt, and then this perfect angle, everything, he's falling around perfect. You know,
that's not just the thing, the shirt he
he's
had
an actor,
on. The shirt he had on.
The shirt he had was
Why did
perfect.
you have a shirt on?
Yeah.
With your daughter's name on it.
Oh yeah, the plug.
Was that her shirt? Like,
Yeah,
whose
the
shirt
shirt
was
plug.
it? It was his daughter's name. That was
The
a
shirt
super.
plug.
It was a
He was like, this is all I have left. I didn't know if he was saying it was her shirt or he got the shirt with her name
No,
on
he
it.
got the
Like, that
shirt
was
with the name on it, and then he flashed it at the same time.
But
Quick.
But
I
wasn't he
don't follow
flying
it, so
over
I was
her
like,
school with a helicopter or some
wearing
shit?
a teenager shirt. Like,
Yeah.
But one time them didn't send fly over her school.
With a helicopter?
Or aircraft, one of them, Cessna or something. Him fly over the girls' school. I couldn't remember what craft, but they were like, yo, that's a little bit weird. Like, why are you really doing all that? Like, this is school. You know what I mean? Children should not really be worrying about that. So, I mean, there's a lot of unstable behavior.
so,
Coming
okay.
out with no acknowledgement.
Okay. If
You
the
know?
mom is saying that she thinks he's bipolar, that right there would be a key indicator that he might actually be dealing with bipolar syndrome, because when they're in the manic stage, there's this spending spree. Their inhibitions are lessened, so they do reckless things.
Right.
Bipolar people.
Drug use,
Right.
drug use,
Mhm.
unprotected sex, and excessive spending.
Reckless, yeah.
These are key markers of manic behavior.
Yeah.
So I see it.
Manic depressive.
Yeah, manic would be the extreme stage where you're happy. And then the depressive stage of bipolar is where you're
Also,
Unable to function.
bipolar is a manic depressive.
bipolar and manic depression are the same.
Yeah.
It's not a
Manic depression is a
That's a
component
chemical.
of
yeah. That seems to be usually is more chemical. And then something that I was reading is that the synapses, like we all have these little pathways that we're wired for. They're harder to break the older we are. After a certain point, those little pathways you can't reform very well. So usually it has to do with when you split as a child, like when you started really using those two streams of function. So some people are irreparable and some people cannot acknowledge that this is the way they are, because the last recollection they have of themselves, this is how they saw themselves. So you can't tell certain personality disorders that they're even disordered.
Exactly.
So if a person's not willing to acknowledge this, they're not willing to acknowledge that they can be pushed to extremes, that's when the court deems them a danger to the child.
Right.
So here we have a situation where the court must be doing their own sort of independent evaluation, whether it be formal or not, just by observation of maybe behavior in court, behavior leading up. Do we see these sudden changes? You're all of a sudden being cooperative. You got a court date going up. They look at all that shit.
But I wonder if
You know what I mean? They would be assessing with us all the time.
You know what I mean?
That's why this whole rant was just so damning. Like, they're watching things that you don't think they're watching when it comes to behavior. They're looking for consistency in certain things.
To me,
So,
like Tyrese, this breakdown, and then the Wendy Williams thing,
A bit distractive. Are we gonna? Yeah, there's
But
a lot
like-
going on.
This is very distractive.
Wendy.
Wendy Williams, locked up. What was that? What the hell was that?
I have a theory
What the
on
hell
that.
was that?
My question with Tyrese is, I wonder if he thinks that acknowledging that he might have a mental health issue would mean that the court might think he's unfit. Like, I think that's the connection that a lot of people of color deal with, where they don't think that acknowledging their mental health issue is going to be something that is accepted. Like, all you need to do is start treatment.
But that could be because of culture. Because back in our
That's
original
exactly
motherland, what happens is when we acknowledge that, you get told to go straight away. You know what people get left on Bellevue and don't come back.
Yeah.
Because when the little 90 days is up, the family is nowhere to be found. They don't want that back on them. So, you know, this is why I think people of color are discouraged to admit these things, the type of facilities that are available where they come from. But, you know, like Delcita said, Canada, with that, like, you have to know when you're here.
When
Your doctor will respect, you know, like a court system would look at you in a custody situation better if you went in and said, yo, like, straight up, I'm gonna need some support because I'm not trying to really snap. They break that shows that you're still functioning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why that weighs so much. A lot of people don't understand how much that means. I know that personally because I'm not candid, I'm not very shy about it. I dealt with depression and anxiety, and I think what helped me get some of the resources I needed was opening my mouth. I know.
Stop talking out.
One day, I calmly hung up the phone from somebody that I was speaking with, and I walked very, very stoically down to my car, and I sat down in my car for a couple of hours, and the first phone call I made was to my doctor. I was like, yo, like, I'm not, you know, so I think that that's something that maybe what you're saying, Tyrese is not really understanding that there is maybe more favor. He gains a little bit more believability, and you know, if he's just willing to admit that he might not have a grip,
and demonstrates that he's a capable parent by acknowledging that this is something that I deal with. This is my reality, and this is what I need to do in order to function at my higher self. No, Wendy. People have the conspiracy thing, and I love circle people. God to bed, I love
what
you
did you
guys.
say about Wendy?
But the conspiracy stuff,
Yo.
yo, it sometimes gonna take it
love
way
to
off, you
entertain
know.
it. I love
I'm listening. We're gonna talk about your conspiracy stuff.
I did, right? No, it was more like a crumple still, like
True, she walked back and she
did
did
one
go
and
like
then,
this and kind of raise her hand at her head, and then she just went boom. And it kind of looked like the Katy Perry thing, but we all know that Katy Perry does this as part of her, it's part of her show, right? Which I already think that Katy Perry is walking with them people.
Okay.
I already, that's not, for me, that's not conspiracy. This Wendy thing, we don't have enough evidence, in my view, to say that it's no brainwashing thing. But I'm listening.
I'm
We're
thinking
going to
that
talk
her
to the
husband,
conspiracy.
I'm thinking that her husband, one thing I heard floating around was that her husband is her handler.
Okay. I heard her husband was giving her bun.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing is,
Uh-huh.
he's not really her true husband. He's her handler. So all it is he has his life out there, and he's living there, and he's going to get a mail there, and somebody calls somebody and put that in paparazzi. Because if he's her handler, he's not really her husband.
Right.
That would explain why he has his actual concubine. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So this is why that theory is floating around, because look how you never see smoke without the fire. 1 minute you hear say muff woman, 2 you hear say she have popped down in those ways, right?
Yeah.
So it looks strokish, but I think that was the immediate wide-eyed theory, and I kind of see why people say that still.
No, it wasn't. I still wasn't the conspiracy. The conspiracy was that she's an Illuminati victim, and that she must have upset the wrong people, and because she upset the wrong people, they are trying to start the deprogramming or the reprogramming or what's it not, which involves public shaming, right? So I oversat because I've seen some other stuff that for me were a little bit more convincing, like Michael Jackson's video. So I've seen like some other things that I think were more convincing to say that, yeah, maybe this is some Illuminati thing. But to be honest, Wendy's a small person with some massive titties. And I don't know if you guys saw photos of her this summer.
Yo, she don't look good.
On the beach.
She don't look good. You see her body was sagging, remember?
She's always been a skinny person, but at one point, like I'm a Wendy fan, okay? So at one point, I saw Wendy as a little bit you know, she's putting on a little mature weight.
Mhm.
So to me, this summer when I saw her saggy body in the bikini,
Oh.
I said, Brenda is doing something. She's on something. She's trying to lose some weight. And then I was watching the show and I was taking it home, maga down, her arms out. Now, if you're naturally a slim person, you're naturally slim, but she looks like she lost lots of weight. So I don't think anything happened to her. I think she's on those 1-800 pills, Liptodrin, what do you call them? One of those, because those things, you know, they pump your heart up, they make your body work faster than it's supposed to work, and you get hot.
Yeah.
So I think she fainted because I actually know somebody who died from taking those diet pills earlier this year. She was only 38, and she left back 3 kids, and her youngest child is not even 2 years old yet, and she was born at 20 weeks.
Oh,
and she's partially deafened. She has a partial loss of vision in one of her eyes. Died trying to lose weight, taking those pills. What she said to her husband, I feel hot. I'm going to go have a nap. She went and had a nap and didn't wake up, isn't it? So that's what I think happened to her.
How old was she?
She was 38.
No, man.
I don't know. But you guys in the conspiracy thing, I was enjoying watching it. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. I'm just saying that it was interesting because
they're very good theories.
I don't really follow celebrities.
Some people were saying it looks strokish,
but it didn't look.
Some people are saying it looks strokish, and I think that would be consistent.
Strokish?
Yeah, like TIA.
That didn't look strokish to me.
Well, the slurring of the speech is kind of a key indicator.
Yeah.
When people stroke, you know they stroke, man. You know they stroke. And they're not getting back up so quickly.
No, but
have you
ever heard of a TIA in my youth?
A what?
Transient ischemic attack. It's a mini stroke.
Oh.
It's like your stroke look like this.
No.
TIA look like you're just tired.
I know about the mini
You
stroke.
would never. The
People have many
TIA.
Did you guys see the follow-up video of her in the leopard on her couch? When she was saying that she's okay and she's going to report to work. You guys saw it? Tell me if you saw the video. Tell me.
Why are her doctors not taking her to the? Why are they letting her back on set within 10 minutes, guy? Like, this is the thing that one of my major YouTubers had to say. 10 minutes, she's back on saying this and that and the third. Yeah. Like when you even drop down from anemia, they don't even want to send you home.
Right.
You could go in for blood pressure. If they don't like your blood pressure, you're not going nowhere.
Look at that.
But how the fuck did they let her back out?
She has an overactive thyroid that's diagnosed with it.
Oh, see the overactive.
So Alicia said she has an overactive thyroid for over 10 years.
Is that why she's so maga?
That could be why she lost all the weight. That could be why she fainted. My mom has overactive thyroid.
And underactive people tend to get well, which one is the bulgy eyes and the weight gain? I think they both have bulgy eyes.
I think that's overactive.
No,
that kind of explains some
the
of
weight gain is the overactive.
I feel bad almost for what I was about to say about her. If you saw her in the leopard, scratch that. I don't want to talk about her in the leopard no more.
Well, that could have something to do with it. But then again, she's also been known to play.
Right.
So it's hard. Like there's certain things you can't really walk left. Or when you walk left, if people don't want to let you leave. So the first thing is the default is you're like, what are you doing? Are you playing again? You know?
Yeah.
So that you can't really be too hard on yourself for thinking that way. Sometimes.
Is anybody going to be contributing a voice note on this topic before we switch? Because we have all the things.
Yeah, remember people, you can leave Lisa a voice note. And we'll play it and we'll discuss. Working on the Skype number. Hopefully for next episode we'll have a number you can just call in. But right now, just send a voice note to Lisa and we'll see what's up.
Underactive. All right, so are we moving into the
Cardi B? What's her song again? I don't even know one Cardi B song.
Bodak Yellow.
There's a few.
No, Bodak Yellow.
Yeah. So, Lisa.
Me?
We did deep.
She doing, honestly, Cardi B's doing a thing. It's not for me. That's all.
I'll tell you the post that the Cardi B thing came from. I don't know if you all were able to catch this, Delina. So I just want to make sure everybody has an idea what we're talking about before we talk. Tingz, where is it?
Yeah.
Go to my world of screenshots.
You find it?
Wait. This was
recently.
Yeah.
This was Wednesday, not true.
It was very recent, and
it was.
I thought I was being smart, taking a picture of the topic. And
what about Cardi B?
Okay, so the questions were.
Is like she a role model?
Some of the. I really want Lisa to intro this because I think Lisa captured more than me.
Is Cardi B a role model?
What I got was somebody made a post expressing their frustration
Yes.
to put it mildly, with how people are praising the evolution of Cardi B. Because they're saying, what is she being glorified for? We live in an age where people are glorified for just fucking on camera. Like, how are we encouraging that the message is from the pole to the glory or something like that, right? Some people chimed in and were of the school that it doesn't matter what she did, it's where she's doing now because she's still there. She's doing something to try to change herself. She's using what she has. Some people were of the school that these people should understand that they're role models. So Lisa, we have a left it with you, my neighbor.
So the conversation was, I have to say this, but I'm sorry, I can't do this Cardi B needs to win thing. We're supporting a stripper rapper who has no talent, no filter, and a catchy song. Sorry. She says all these things. She says all these girls don't be like her, but she's winning. So all these little girls are going to be like her and then wonder why our society is the way that it is. Loaded.
Yo, that's
so some of you got to chime in on that. Some of you didn't get to chime in on it. So I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on Cardi B. But can I just say something? Like, I don't really follow Cardi B like that, so I don't really want to talk about necessarily her particularly as a stripper because, I rate strippers. If I was a little smaller and I didn't have any kids, I'd probably be stripping my damn self. Like, do your thing, baby. I'm not going to hate because I'm not doing, but that's her. I mean, she became famous because she was on Instagram and she was out there and she was doing her damn thing and had no filter. That was her thing. Like, this is how people know her. So what I want to say is, what's the difference? She's out there doing her thing. What is really the difference? You can tell me what you think is the difference. I'm open to it. But like, when I was growing up, I watched Golden Girls. Blanche was a hoe.
Yeah. That's the young one, right?
Yeah. No, Rue McClanahan.
The young one.
Short hair.
Yes.
Blanche was hoeing.
She was hoeing.
She was out there with her hoeing.
That was my favorite Golden Girl. I didn't grow up to be a hoe because Blanche was a hoe. I watched Living Single. Regina Hunter. My favorite character. Hoeing. She was hoeing. I didn't grow up and be a hoe because she was out there hoeing, like Julia Roberts, in Pretty Woman. Yeah. One of my favorite movies growing up. She was legit a hoe in the movie, a hoe turned housewife, right? She gave hoes faith that they can get picked up.
No, but
he was the one who
she gave hoes faith they can. I'm not knocking a hoe. I love hoes.
Yeah, she was
we can all win.
Listen,
we can all win, but I'm not gonna be like telling my kids that you can't listen to Cardi B because she used to be a stripper.
No, here's the thing. Like,
they know that. They know they're not gonna be strippers because Cardi B is a stripper. You have to instill that in your kids.
Yes.
Instill what you want your kids. Plant those seeds. How am I going to rely on society and people like Cardi B as influences for my? That's not a role model. That's somebody with a catchy beach.
That's entertainment. That's entertainment. You have to teach your children what the difference is.
Yeah, to teach the difference between being inspired, because she did get success, so that is inspiring, but to not follow the pattern.
Yeah,
like you said,
you don't have to say, don't
follow that
way
pattern.
Up to the top is to go down back at the pole and to the top if you're not at the pole. But for her, she started at the pole, so that's why, you know what I'm saying, it's inspiring. So
that's her thing.
No, the success is inspiring. We all want success.
Yeah, what she tells us is that you don't have to let your current status determine where you go, and that in itself is the message. So everything else she says after that is not really the message. Like, I let we broke out in here, we danced to Soale and all these other things, but one of the things that I always have in them is their affirmation. Like on YouTube, like ask Tumpa's why, like sometimes it's why you always going over your data? Because I'm running affirmations in the morning, you know what I'm saying, on the way to school. So if they hear, no wahala from DeMarco and Akon, they know that's a song. That's my job to make sure of that. I don't expect DeMarco to not sing certain things because I gave my kid an iPad at 8. If I'm giving my kid an iPad at 8, I'm going to talk to him about what he's going to find on the iPad.
What's the age now, man? It's really
young
now.
I have to talk to him about when it is in this Narnia he's going in.
Quick pit stop. What's the age now for iPad?
Them shits are in school. Them shits are in school in grade 3. In grade 3.
I'm not going to lie, my 6
4 years old.
In grade 3, they're here.
iPad.
You give this to
My
Jessica and
6-year-old
tell you she doesn't
did
know how
that.
to tell you you're wrong and you're right.
My
Your 6
6-year-old has her own tablet.
What has
My
no,
No,
8-year-old
6 is
has an
fine, but she's
iPod.
saying 4.
Yeah, but they've
Yes.
been
You gotta
like
put
since they
shit
were
on
2
your
and 3
phone.
years old.
You
Like
gotta
that's
put
how,
stuff on.
I'm not gonna go out there and buy a leapfrog when I can buy my kid a tablet.
Mhm.
Like I'm just gonna program the YouTube and the
Might
internet
as
so
well.
they can't get
You
anything
lock it to
viral.
what you want.
You put parental controls on it, so people lick out against it. But that you do what you're picking.
Listen,
what you
it's
wanna
in the
do with your
classroom,
kid.
eh?
These are mine.
It's in the classroom. So when it's in the classroom and that's how a lot of their curriculum is being introduced, you have to be able to at least keep up, because a lot of the apps that come home with my kid, like a lot of his reading is on these apps. His math is on an app. His reading is on an app. And he's always excited to tell me about what he earned by unlocking a certain book that he never thought he could read. You know, and that why he's so proud of why he's writing, because the app.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a tool. It's what you want it to do. Social media can be a tool to, you know, edify your child, or it can be a tool to confuse them. It's up to you.
Social media could do a lot of things.
It's up to you what you
It can cure your loneliness.
They're saying,
Cure your loneliness.
they're
Yeah,
saying
babe.
kids came in kindergarten with iPads.
Yes.
Yeah, kindergarten iPads. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it. Bring
We
your
have a
own
wicked
device.
voice note,
Oh,
but I
fuck
think I'm
you,
gonna send it
Jason.
to you.
No,
Yo, I
play
just
it.
want to give
Play the
Jason a
voice note.
shout
So
out.
then she can play it on the
Yeah,
Bluetooth.
Jason.
What up, Cyril? What up, Cyril?
Fuck you, I don't smile.
Where's my phone? I think I have to put something true to voice.
Yeah, I lost mine too.
It's all right. I think we have a voice note.
Play the
No,
voice
don't
note.
forget
Just
to
play the
say
voice
that.
note.
You don't want to play it on the Bluetooth?
Yeah, I think it would be easier on that.
On the Bluetooth?
Is it possible to, are you sending it?
What's up?
What's up?
All right. Yeah, Sorry, y'all.
Sorry, hold on.
Sorry, y'all.
We're slow.
There.
All right. Okay, Mama.
This is in relation to the Cardi B topic. Thank you.
Hold on. Sorry, I was
Sorry.
connected. Can you disconnect, please?
I am disconnected.
All right.
Come on.
Okay, we're here.
My bad.
No, it's all good. I disconnected because I was leaving this guy here connected.
And I get that there are people on Instagram who are trying
Yeah,
to
hold on, here's the
emulate
voice
Cardi
note.
B.
Voice
You got
note.
it?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Play it.
Good.
Put it all the way up, Thomas.
Yo, what up, Circle Fam? I feel that the thing with Cardi B is that she went from, you know, less than perfect, the bad teeth, blah, blah, blah. She's not really a real rapper per se. And even just doing reality television would like kill your career as an artist. So for instance, you had rappers on Love and Hip Hop like L'Oreal that I think is dope. I listened to both her mixtapes, the early ones, and it was really hard to get off the ground. So I just think it's good to see somebody come up that's a lot less polished. And I think that's why people are praising her, because she's like,
It's real talk.
sometimes when she talks, it seems like she doesn't even have media training. You know what I'm saying? And that's the essence of Cardi B, is just that rawness.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
All right, yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Vince.
Who was that?
That was Fitz Reed. Thank you,
Vince,
Vince.
yeah.
You're right though. She's like everybody. She's like anybody.
Yeah.
So she can do it. Who can't do it?
This is what's
Yeah.
inspiring. So a lot of people are, you know, saying that, you know, because it's inspiring, let's turn our blind eyes to the other message, that the shadow message that she may not be conscious she's sending. And I think that's what the original post was about.
Like the sexually.
Yeah,
to be
because
sexual.
children are going to discern and say, oh, that's not her real message. That's a byproduct of her message. That was her avenue to hear. Children aren't going to discern that. So a lot of children are going to just receive that. That's what he's saying. He can't support it.
Yeah.
You know, which I can totally understand, because when you
yeah.
frame it as, yo, children aren't going to pick and piddle through. It's up to you two. So here's the thing. If you're going to be listening to Bodak Yellow with your children, you have to also be having a dialogue about that.
Yeah, you gotta be saying this is this and this is that.
Yeah.
Say, hey, honey.
Yeah, because there's kids at school who don't have the social media access. How do you think that they're hearing about it from the kids that do?
Yeah.
And they're not getting the version that you can intercept and filter. They're getting that person's version, that kid's version of whatever the parents are shaping that. So, you know, they're going to be exposed. So I understand why he's saying, like, this is not the message that we want to say this is the ideal path. This because Cardi was able to take this and she's a warrior. She can transform it. But that's not the path we really want you to get.
Yeah, and I hear it,
you know
but it does speak to a bit of a double standard in the industry.
In the industry,
and Jason, well, not just in the industry, but also with us.
Yeah.
And Jason brought up a good comment, Jason Wilmot. So I just want to read his comment on that.
Okay.
Because we're coming down on Cardi for doing her thing, but what he says is how many ex-drug dealers or current, can I just add or current drug dealers,
current construction
convicts and murderers with mumble raps and poor grammar have made it to the top on their own. The example Cardi sets for little girls is to have ambition and follow your dreams. Don't let people pigeonhole you and burden you with labels to stunt your growth. Don't wait for someone to co-sign you or put you on. Do it yourself.
So that's Jason.
And I hear you. That was Jason Wilmot's comment.
I understand that.
Because right now we have how many rappers in the industry flaunting drug money, talking about selling drugs.
They don't.
And we're not all licking out. We're not on Facebook making comment on topics to talk about the drug dealer rappers that are out there or the murderer rappers. So why are we picking? She's a female. That's why.
Well, in that case, I understand what the movement is saying. I understand why people are saying, yo, like, you're breaking double standards. Did you see the video where when she met Spice, she said, you don't know how much I rate you? And Spice was like, yo, and I don't think they were saying Spice don't realize what she's done for the dancehall industry is what inspired Cardi. To say, yo, you're in a male-dominated industry where anything goes. So I think you're right. If you put it in the context of the industry, which is important, like she broke a 20-year record.
Which one?
The Billboard record that Lauryn Hill had and held
Cardi
for 19
broke that?
years. Yeah.
Which record?
19 years.
Women have it hard
Okay,
in the industry.
Yeah,
What
it was the
record?
Lauryn Hill. I don't remember the title.
Let me know the record that Cardi B
It was a
broke on.
Creole My Son.
No, not the song. I want to know what
Let me look it up.
What's
I think
the
it was
record?
Creole My Son.
What's the record?
All right,
Women
so
have
she
it
broke
hard
a
enough.
20-year record, right? We'll find it. We'll play it back. This is the wine talking. So what she did was monumental.
Okay.
In the sense that it shifted the game back to where it's like, yo, the girl them there, we can do it too. Some people want to say it reeks of feminism, but at the same time, if you look at the industry, well, that's really still very male-dominated industry.
Rap?
It is.
Hip-hop?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because why do you think you got to get female artists trying to break out on these love and hip hop shows, but meanwhile their man is the producer. No matter what, their man is always the producer. You know what I'm saying?
But there's more and more women coming on.
Yeah, but you don't see. Shout out to Renee, yo, Black Orchid. If you're in the building, somebody tag Renee.
Yes, woman.
Okay,
yes.
because one thing she says, I'm so tired of people referring to you're pretty bad for a female producer.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, she's dirty.
Yeah.
No,
And she's not dirty for a
not
female.
for a
No,
woman.
she's just
Right?
fucking
Woman.
sick.
That's the Cam Newton
She's
shit.
fucking sick.
That's the Cam
Yeah,
Newton.
like,
That's the
period.
Cam Newton twist.
Period.
Play
She's good
Steve's
for a
voice note
woman.
for me, Steve.
Steve's voice
Big
note.
up.
good.
Thank you
Oh,
for
oh,
sending
that's
us voice
me.
What up,
notes. Steve
Steve?
wants
Got
to add a
one
little
more.
something about the
Alright.
industry.
What's in Facebook?
Is it in Facebook or is it on WhatsApp?
Sorry, this is his Facebook.
Obviously,
Put it on there.
Circle family.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, the thing that people need to realize about the industry, the message that a lot of these celebrities are trying to send out, they don't really have 100% control over that. You know, because as soon as you sign your soul over, I don't know, people might think it's all fuckery, but the industry is a really big deal. And people don't realize that. But once you get high up there in the spotlight, you're signing your soul, you know, for that money, the mansions, the fame, the cars. And, you know, they have more, the industry has more control over that person than what they do. And when those celebrities start to wake up, we all witness it, we all see it. Michael Jackson, Keisha, a lot of them are starting to wake up, and then when they wake up, their careers start to fucking crumble on them.
Phase 2.
And this is real shit, man.
That's Steve
That's
FJ.
Steve FJ.
What up,
Steve,
Steve? Yo,
see,
shout
that's
out to you for
crazy.
keeping it real.
That's keeping it real.
Because that could be all what's happening to Tyrese now. It's like what they did to Chappelle, yo. Like, let's pop you down and see if you're willing to take it. We give you a next round, and now you're blur. They don't know that. But at the same time, it's like what Steve is saying is just all the more real. Sorry, did I say that?
No, sorry,
No, that wasn't me.
No, not you.
All right. So, yo, we like the comments. Like, send in your voice notes. So,
moving on.
Yeah, we had left off. So, Cardi B,
B.
that was a good one, y'all. I love when you guys bring the realness.
Yeah.
So, does that bring us back into this post about females and males and are women really, there was two posts, those two very emotionally charged posts. Women are like ridiculously unstable. I think that started on Sunday in the group. And then there was also another post about why are women single?
Why are women single?
Oh gosh.
Oh, God.
Yo, you guys,
why are women single? Or why are people single?
Why are women
Why are women single? Wow.
Big up Black and Gail.
Yo, that's all you. I'm not. No comment. No comment.
Nah, man, because I ain't saying shit. Like,
that's all you, Lisa. No comment.
But it was from a man's perspective. Yes, it was like
talk about how women are perceived in conversation and discussion online first, and then we'll go into the poll because the poll is a bit of a hot topic.
So you want to see how men and women are perceived?
Yeah, let's talk about it because there are some thoughts on this, right?
Indeed, there are. I'm not in the poll. You are.
No, we talked about.
I get that there are people on Instagram.
Sorry, babes. That was just playback. Okay, so leading to when women and males have an opinion and how it's viewed. So are women viewed as emotionally unstable? And what about when the men seem soft or slightly exist, not hearing the woman's voice?
Sexist.
So, or slightly sexist. So is this a miniature society just replaying out right now in the circle and everybody is just locked in the fishbowl and now they're forced to look at shit that they don't have to address when they're at work or at school or when you're hiding and buying? Is that what's happening? You guys are realizing you're in the fucking Matrix?
Is
this what that is? You guys are looking at it and saying, yo, why haven't we ever had this conversation before? So everybody's raging.
Why are women single?
Hey, can we talk about it?
Joe Tempest, hold on.
Why are we
Your
raging?
turn. Why are women single?
He's not commenting.
No. I grew up Black cousin. He's saying some women are overly aggressive. They are. They want to see dick pics every single second.
Stop sending dick pic. It's gonna get screenshot and then end up on a Freaky Friday. Like, stop doing it.
Okay, so are these things connected? Like with our
why women are single?
our whole diagnosis that assertion has to mean that that's why you're single. Like then we have to say that because you're assertive, that means you're not appealing. There's a lot of women who can assert themselves and still remain appealing. So now we're saying, like, this is a rabbit hole. Like, get to the point where we start saying, are we misogynist? Is the circle misogynist? Or
no? Are you saying is it easier for a woman to get a man,
or is it feminist? That's what I'm saying.
No, but it's making it seem like it's easy for the woman to just get men. So if she's
maybe
single,
it's hard.
there's a reason.
Maybe it's hard, but these are the questions. That's what I'm saying. It was a very open question. Why are women single?
No,
are we there already?
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the perception.
Let's say she is over a certain age and she has no kids.
So she's like, so if she's 37 and has no kids, that's a problem?
Yes.
Why? Why is she a spinster?
So 37, that's.
But then you have to look at
you're putting a label on a number.
But then you have to look at what if she decided she's not gonna create her? What if she decided she's not? That's this is a rabbit
So what if
hole.
she's 45 with no kids?
That's dangerous, man.
But what if she don't want
dangerous for what though? You can still talk to her. Why not?
What if she didn't want none?
She didn't want to build anything in the first place.
That's not true.
You wouldn't talk to a girl who's 45 with no kids because you think that's dangerous?
That's why everybody's staying away from her.
I think today you're more likely to buck up on, in today's world, I think when I hear people say they want to know if you have kids, it's to really confirm your gender. That's the only reason I ever really hear people say, yo, like, let me see your kid's birth certificate. Then I know you're really.
But why does there have to be a date?
But I'm saying that would be more the concern. But I don't think having children is a measure of the ambition of a woman, because then you're saying a woman is, her only aspiration is to want to procreate.
No,
a woman can procreate and still achieve way more and have more of an impact than her procreation.
No, but some of them are controlling, and that's why these guys are running away, because they're like, okay, this girl can't like your comment or else you're fucked now.
Well, I think it's extreme.
If If she likes
I
your
think that's
comment, you're
extreme.
fucked now.
I think that's
That's
extreme.
Less
I
is
wouldn't necessarily go
confused.
down that way.
No, it's
So
not.
what
Who
other?
else is confused? When I just said that children are baggage a few weeks ago. But if
Stop.
you don't have
No.
baggage, then you're scary. Hold on.
It was
All
the
right,
same.
that's true. That's a
Hold
double
on.
standard.
I'm so confused.
That's
Yo,
a double
You
standard.
don't have baggage, you're
You're
scared?
scary.
Is this what I'm still over? Or am I really understanding what's going on here? If you have children, you're baggage, but if you don't have children, you're scary.
So no, but now you
So
say
does
if
it
I
mean
if I don't
scary
have baggage, you're
So
scared.
we can't win.
There's something wrong either way.
We can't win.
So we can't win this misogynist community.
You guys are supposed
Hold
to
on. So listen, I'm 35
Mm-hmm.
with no kids.
Yeah.
No, that's normal.
That's
Well, you're
normal.
a man. Do you
Yeah.
understand that makes you prime real estate? If
Yeah,
you weren't
but,
married,
women-
that would make
For a
you
woman
prime
to
real
be
estate.
35
But
with
why?
no children, she's questioned.
but some men will say, look at me and say, yo, you know, you're shooting blanks, say, yo, wow, hurry up.
Yeah, there's an internal
Yeah,
pressure
that's
among the
just
male
it.
communities.
Yeah, but as a woman, if I'm meeting a man who's 35 with no kids, I'm saying he
We're
must
talking
have
about to
stacked
the
enough
opposite
chips.
sex.
He
That's
must
attracted
have
to you.
stacked enough chips.
Yeah.
Because you spent all your time, you must be building, you're 35. You
Yeah.
must be
But-
establishing
But
a
why
thing.
are some people look at me and say, yo, something wrong with me? Like, that's not right. I should have at least one or something.
Because
Those are
people
low
don't
vibrating
understand.
people.
They're not looking at the
So
fact
what,
that.
like I'm saying though, what if I was
Yeah.
39 and no kids? Am I even
Well, you
worse
have
now?
some men
I'm
who
worse?
I personally know men right now who are like mid-40s and don't, what they're attaining when they have that child.
Hmm.
If they're able to line up with a nice young thing, what they
They
can
take
give
care
that
of it.
child.
Yeah, they can
I
take
seen
care
a post today said that it says a man is not really a man until he's 42. I think that looked like such a TikTok.
No, it's true.
And, you
though.
know, and it's like,
It's
yo,
true.
but if that's the case, then you have a lot of women out there who you fucking damaged, who brought you to the point where you had your eureka moment, and now you can go and be all that for some other person who never really earned the dry shit that
But that's
other
what I'm-
women went through.
That's what I'm saying.
So you have some women that are single and they're like,
Yeah.
yo, why the fuck am I gonna go up there and clean up and polish and spit shine? And then some other bitch who never had to put in all the work that I had to do is gonna just walk off into the sunlight. So like, nah, man, I'm just gonna wait till my man is 43 and he's ready. There's enough
that's
women, like if you look at
Yeah.
those two posts,
Yeah.
this is what, and the reason I know this is because like I've seen it. I have so many uncles who went and just kind of like was like, all right, auntie so and so, who I don't care who you be, like that. You're not auntie so and so is auntie, and they've gone out there and like just up and you know, they're doing what it's I guess natural to keep procreating. Like they will be appealing to a younger woman. But then the auntie is the one who's looking at it and she's like, but wasn't I the one who made you up to where like I was the weird scientist? You know what I mean?
So it's different for men and women.
How do we
It's
know?
totally different.
How do we know that these women are not single by choice? Because they're like, if I can do bad by myself, why the fuck am I gonna have to do bad with somebody else?
Why would
Like,
why would
how do we know that that's not what they're saying to
not
themselves?
everybody has the same fortune?
Why is it their
relationship?
pussy bust up and they're this mash up? What if they just don't want to give it away?
Not everybody has the same fortune with relationships. There are some women who are waiting for someone who meets their personality, meets their wants
Yeah,
in
yeah.
life. You know what I
But-
mean? And it's not a matter that they're waiting for Prince Charming, but on the other end, it could be. So you have to ask questions. Every circumstance
Okay,
is
when
different.
they
But
hit their
about men.
mid-30s, they start getting horny.
it's true. No,
Oh,
because
yeah,
my sex
no
drive
kidding.
took off. When I turned 33,
Yeah.
I thought I knew life. But you see, when I turned 36, yo, my sex drive took off.
No,
In space of
I'm
3
about
years,
to get blistered.
and I'm not even getting none. So it's a problem. You see it? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, you know me. It's about that time. I'm supposed to check
No,
on my
but
people.
everything sends a message. We all judge. We all judge people. You see what I'm saying? So if I meet a man who's 30 and he has no kids, I'm gonna say, all right, you were doing your thing. That's respectable. You're trying to be responsible about when and where you have children with who. If he's 35 with no children, I'll be like, all right, you must be stacking some chips. That's very mature of you. You're waiting for you to stack some chips. Everything sends a message. If you're 40 with no kids, as a man, I'm thinking you were hoeing. You were hoeing because
No.
you had 40 with no kids. If you're not married,
Listen.
then I'm gonna think
Let
that
me,
you were
let me
hoeing.
listen.
That this is
Hold
I'm
on.
telling you the judgments that I make.
But listen,
I have a friend who didn't have his
Yeah.
first kid until he was 46.
and what's wrong with that?
He was hoeing. Nothing's wrong with it, but that's why he didn't have kids, because he was hoeing. Like, he didn't want to have kids because he wasn't going to settle down with somebody. No girl was ever good enough, even when she was more than good enough, because he didn't want the responsibility of children. So now he's 49 and his son is almost 4. He's in a better place. Oh, thank you.
Well, listen,
he's in a better place.
I want to put, it's his choice. He was a hoe. But let me tell you something. The more I get older, the more I want to be a daddy.
Yes.
The older I get, the more I want to be a daddy. So by the time I reach 46, I'm like, yes, bring it.
But you're different. You're married. You're
system.
stable. You're not out here still playing the field like, I can't find the one. You have the one. So when you guys have kids, it's all blessed. But we're talking about men out here who are single with no kids. When they're 35, it's like, all right, you must be very established. Like for me, like my panties just start get wet.
Hey,
like,
yo, bring
it's
some
a great
towel,
thing.
bring some Kleenex.
But as a woman, I hear what Thomas is saying. Because if you're in your mid-40s and you don't have kids, I hear what he's saying, because men make these perceptions.
They're
Okay,
like,
is something wrong with you?
Why do you think you guys do that? Like, why is it that you are able,
or don't? Sorry, not can't. Don't.
Why is it that you're able to? And Jason, I want to hear from you guys. Able to say that, yo, when I look at a woman who I know can bring life, that on some primate level, that's like, that already is very attractive. But then, you have a voice note. Okay, and I'll just quickly get this out. We can come back to it. Is then why is it that it can be at the same time repulsive? Why is it attractive and repulsive? So we'll come back to that. Let's hear the voice note. Block. So send it to me.
Sorry, Block. I just saw your message. Sorry, I was talking. Yeah, sorry, the boss.
You gonna send the voice note?
Yeah.
Do you have it?
Is it this where you said that last note was about the Cardi topic?
No, that was from. You can go.
Did you WhatsApp me?
No, Block Hugger wants you to play his voice note.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna
But
get.
she's got to send it to me. Block. Bear with me, because my speaker will only let one phone connect at a time.
And I did say I wasn't gonna play 2-part messages, but since both of them are under a minute, you get what this time.
All right. Is that the one that you just sent me?
I just sent you the first part. Now I'm gonna send you the second part.
All right. Block Hugger.
And then we have another
what
one.
What I would say is that women in the circle, there seems to be a large amount of single women in the circle based off their own posts and comments about, well, I don't have a man, I need a man. And I was asking, why was there so many single women in the circle? And then I got attacked. So that was really the question.
What's part two?
To answer that question, basically, I'm talking about men and women in the household and gender roles being confused. In a home, a man has to be a man, and a woman has to be a woman. If a woman beats a man down and turns him into a pussy, what are you left with? And how will that affect your household? That's why I feel a lot of women are single, because either they don't know or have not been taught how to play their role. And please don't take that as a negative. Everybody has a role.
It's not a negative, but when you have women who are single for so long and they're raised by single women, all you know how to do is be independent. So my women, we have to learn how to dial it back.
But they know how
Well,
to
listen,
dial
you
it
don't know.
back.
So he said a man has to be a man and a
For
woman has
sure.
to be a woman.
Absolutely.
But listen, in this day and age, the dynamics of the home have changed.
No,
Yeah.
But people want
No,
you can't have equality. I think what
Like
women
have
really,
equality,
I think what women
things
were
have
after
changed,
was
though.
equity, and then what somebody did was they did a little wordplay on people, and that's how
No,
feminism was
but
born.
man and woman roles from
Different
2017 to
places.
1970 is different.
We all rule
It's
from different
different.
places. I think equality was sold to us, and what we really should have been asking for was equity, as opposed to, and then we thought, well, I don't need a man because I am a man. Like right now, I have seen my mother for 20 years do everything that a man could have done for her by herself. Just because she can do it, it doesn't mean she should do it, because when she does have to do those things and take on those masculine concerns, she transforms into a man. And then a man, if you're a homosexual man, you're going to be repulsed. So, I mean, women want to be men, and then you also have a case where women are forced to be men because they're with a boy and not a man.
Yeah.
And then when he sees her looking like his daddy, he's not trying to
So
be
what
with
about
his
the man
daddy.
that's
What
with
I'm
the
hearing,
girl?
so there's different
There's a man
sides
with
to
a little
it.
girl too.
You're right.
Sometimes a woman has to be a man because she's not, you know what I'm saying? Like that's all she
Well,
knows.
so
What
when
I'm hearing and what I'm hearing from him and what I'm saying also is that when a man comes in,
He's a real man. He's a real.
When a man comes in, there's that struggle for him to be a man because you're so over independent and so protective of your independence that I can do this, that you throw it in his face and browbeat the man that I can do this.
Yeah, I think he's had that message.
That's like a man being with a man. A man doesn't want to come home to the next man.
If he's heterosexual, if he's you're talking about a heterosexual male.
A woman acting like a man. So as a man, you come home and you say, yeah, one. Yeah.
Well, I see what he's saying still, because that is a real big problem. And I think that what Lisa's saying, it has a lot to do with perhaps looking at the dynamic, and that a lot of the strong, intimidating women today were raised by women who had to be intimidating to get to where the children are still able to stand up without the help of anybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We have a contribution from Steve.
What up, Steve? Another Steve.
Did you send that my way?
I did send it your way, but Block, thank you for that poll. I added to the poll that I think some women have unrealistic expectations. I'm a woman, so when I say this, don't think that I'm preaching. I'm beating myself and reminding myself these things too. Life is not a fairy tale, and this is not movies. So don't look at the movies and music and fairy tales for what you want in your relationship.
True.
Actually own what you can bring to the table. Like, what do you bring to the table? What do you have to offer a man? Don't ask a man to bring everything to you and say he ain't shit because he can't do X. What can you do for you? What do you bring? So own what you bring and let the man bring what he's bringing. And stop thinking that if it's not white picket fence and 2.5 pitney with dog and big house out in Meadowvale, then you haven't done it. You see what I'm saying? You live in Meadowvale? Oh, sorry. I don't mean to call out people things.
I have a white picket fence and I live in fucking Meadow. I don't give a fuck.
You see much time I got Jess and I'm not even notice the white picket fence. Sorry, I have a brown picket fence.
Listen. Anyway,
Steve's voice note. Sorry.
Anyway,
let's see what Steve has to say.
Okay, but yeah, I hear that still. I hear what both sides are.
Blanks. So I'm all about dating a woman that has children. I've been told I only have I have a very low chance of having kids myself. So I'm all about being in a relationship with a woman that already has kids. And I like building forts. I like going to Kittyland. I'll be up in those tunnels too. If we go to McDonald's, I'll have to be with the one at Playland. I love doing that shit.
Yeah, what was that? What do you call it? The dating game. That was his profile, ladies. Sorry, Steve FJA in the building.
Yo, but let's not forget who Steve's grandmother is.
He likes long walks on the beach.
Sorry, Steve. He said for me not to play it, but I already sent it.
Yo, but Steve.
I thought it was cute.
Shout out.
And I saw what you're working with. Yo, Steve is working with some things. Okay.
Shout out.
Freaky Friday, I see. I get Steve.
Thank God you never see. It's so weird.
That's all. That's one.
I don't promote this shit.
Yeah, we don't promote no fucking no.
Steve, I'm going with things.
Lisa.
No, I said you hit real quick.
Yo, Steve, fuck off.
I sent you the real voice note. Sorry about that.
Yo, that's a real voice note.
I sent you the real one.
Let's see what he has to say.
Can I even hit play though?
Yeah.
Alright,
Yes, sir.
so wait, but now I have
Steve,
so
you're
much more.
fucking up the circle, man.
Who's that?
We have one more from Jason, and then we're gonna move on.
okay, please,
So
Jason.
Steve, then Jason, and
So I'm all about dating.
No, that's not
So
it.
please, Jason.
All right.
Sorry, Steve.
And then we gotta come back to a Cardi B topic, and then we go move. Yes.
I'm waiting for the next.
Did it come through?
Jason. Oh, I think I'm locked up in the Steve. Alright, I think I just know. 30 seconds?
Yep.
Alright,
Blanks. So I'm all.
I thought you said 30 seconds. Are we
27 seconds. No, it's on your messenger. Sorry.
I gotta get out.
Oh, I sent it back to Jason. That's why. Sorry. Hush.
There you go, right there.
It's coming
See
now.
the nails? I never made it on Saturday. I had to cancel, so I have to get them.
Yo, one time, what I think is that if a man takes on youth or a woman that has youth, it's a good thing still. Cause in life, sometimes the youth them need a little bit of direction and guidance at the end of the day. You understand? And more time you have man that breed girl and the man will leave the youth them and the youth them not have no guidance. And more time at the end of the day, the mom is forced to play mom and dad, and sometimes the youth them need a little bit of guidance too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
For
Both
real.
sides. The
Shout out
woman's forced to being into the mom and dad. The dad's forced being into the dad and mom. You know, it's rough to play both roles. It's
Big
rough.
up Jason, Autumn, Julie,
Yeah.
Amenem Hat, Danielle.
Orla.
Yes.
Y'all couldn't be here today, so big up on
Dougie.
yourself. Dougie.
Yo, Danielle,
Missy
you all
Dougie,
right?
Snuggie.
Let's give some prayers
Snuggie,
to Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's next?
That was the 27 seconds on that.
All right.
So now we are. Whoops. Let's grab the document, y'all.
I'm trying to put some structure to this thing now. As you can see, we're failing, but we're trying.
You know what? There's no failure as a defeat. Sometimes you just figure it out as you go.
Yeah, we figure out as we go along.
10 weeks. Lord
10
God.
weeks.
Yo,
Listen,
when was the
remember-
last time anybody
You-
did anything
Weeks.
for 10 weeks? That's
When's the
hard.
last time you did something for 10 weeks in a row? Tell me, please.
And if you did, let us shout you out. So
And
you know
I'm not talking about shower.
That's essential. If
Yeah.
you've been rocking with us till the end, drop a 10 right now. We're looking at the time and we know that
If you've been here since day one, like, where's Moose?
Moose.
Yo, drop
Where
it
the-
in.
Yeah,
I'm
Rochelle.
listening for the voice
Rochelle
notes. Where the
Randy.
Moose?
Yeah,
Elizabeth Jackson. Where the?
Yeah.
So Cardi B, Tyrese, rap. Okay, so we just are housekeeping now.
Here's Moose with the voice note. See how I call him
Oh,
out? He has the
Moose.
voice note already.
Oh,
Moose.
dating and sexual exposure.
Take
Well, we
it
have
back.
to touch that one.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to touch that so quick because y'all.
So let's see what Moose has to say, then we'll go into the dating.
You all need to listen, man. People, circle people. The rules are 1 voice note, please. Contain yourself to 60 seconds. You see
We
these
can't get
2-part
cameras
voice
up.
notes?
It's so exciting.
You're stressing me out with these nails trying to hit send all the time. You guys see me with my spelling errors and always editing my stuff. It's because I voice text everything. So when I have to be forwarding, like, you're giving me extra work, love.
All right, so we got 7 seconds on this.
Please make sure as a segue to speak on the casino trip. Thank you, and God bless. Good night.
We won't
We
forget.
won't.
What the fuck, Moose?
And if you want to know why some single moms are single, why don't you ask them about saying that they're both parents on Father's Day? Literally saying that they don't need their father. I am their mother and father combined. So I'm snatching Father's Day from them.
That one hurt.
Who was this?
That one
Yes.
hurt.
Who that?
Ooh,
Yes,
Moose,
Moose.
still a big up.
Moose, big up your
Let's
damn
talk
self.
about it. Let's talk
So
about
they
it.
take
Because
away the Father's Day?
I'm a single mother.
Okay.
And then I join them tree and there. When other single mothers are wishing other single mothers happy Father's Day, I will happy on Father's Day. They wish other single mothers
Yes.
happy Father's Day. I say thanks, but I'm not a father.
Right,
Your mother.
right. Thank you. It doesn't matter if he's a 5 cents father or a 1 cent
That's
father
still
or
their
a $1
father.
father. That's
Yeah.
still their father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
I
I see it. I
Yeah.
get when people do it.
Yeah.
You're playing the role of 2 people.
Mm.
But you can't tell me on one hand that you don't want to confuse the youth with certain situations that's going on in society that you might not be comfortable with,
AKA 2 fathers. And then
aka
you're telling him-
transgender.
And then you're telling him, I am mother, I'm man, I'm woman.
And then on
At the same
Father's
time.
Day, you're wishing other mothers happy Father's Day.
Contradiction.
You're a walking
Contradiction.
contradiction.
Mhm.
True enough. These are the things we need to talk.
Moose.
Especially in our community.
Moose, yeah.
Big up your damn
You taught
self.
the things.
You really did touch funny things.
Yeah, there really is no reason to
Yeah.
take away the Father's Day. Because a
Listen,
father is a father.
even if he's a piece of shit, Papa,
Yeah, that's your
is
father.
that their father to them? They're like, listen, I'd rather at least have know him or don't know than you know. Like I've seen that. Like I've seen that a lot. Like I don't know if
So what about when there's
stars.
so the first father, gone,
Yeah.
and then another one comes in
Mhm.
and takes that and says, "This is my child."
Mhm.
Is it so? There's now you have 2 fathers.
Yeah, the absentee and then the more.
So who gets the Father's Day?
Both do. If they're and it would be even more beautiful if they're both willing to work it. People call these little comments, these little memes corny, where you have the whole blended family. You have biological father, bonus father. Biological mother, bonus mother. They're cheering the kid on at the game, and people are saying it's corny, but at the end of the day, this is the village. We don't have it takes a village no more. So at the end of the day, you and I didn't work out, and you and so didn't work out. But when that child looks over from the sidelines of life, let's call it whether it's soccer, hockey, sports, whatever, and they know that, listen, if that one chip out and that one go mad and that one going with some fuckery, I know I still have that one. And if they don't all see you lined up in solidarity, they're going to find inroads to divide you. Because kids are like, they go the path of least resistance. They're trying to assert themselves. They're going to go to the yes parent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when they look at you guys all and see that you guys are all locking arms, they're going to feel safe. And that's where they establish trust. Why do you think so many people don't trust nobody? Where were we looking to the left and to the right and to the up and to the down and seeing a network?
Yeah.
That's why we don't trust. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think that it is extremely important, to consider what you can bring to the lives of a person who has children. And to the point where everybody is in this age group in the circle, you're not going to find nobody who don't have at least two by the time you're really serious about settling down. Yeah. So I think it's time we start coming together and having these dialogues about, okay, let's accept that dating pool means people are going to have a kid. What can I bring to assist the situation?
Yeah.
And if that's not your preference, if a man is staying in the group, can I digress first? If a man is staying in the group that he doesn't want to talk to a woman with kids, with children, with baby them, listen to what he's saying. Yeah. But he's allowed to have his preference. Yeah. Why we always have to get so Russ up in because a man doesn't want with children. You know what man want me? I may have 3 pitney. Yeah. I don't have to stress about the 10 that don't because 20 others do. And I'm not literally saying my situation right now. I'm saying like in life, people can like what they like. Yeah. You have people who only want to deal with Spanish women. More power to you. That's what they do. That's your preference. Okay? That's your preference. What does that have to do with me? Yeah. You're not taking away from me. That is your life, your preference. So when people share their opinion in the group, like let them live little bit, no man.
Yeah, man, we can learn,
Because the single mother brigade is serious.
Serious. Who learned that? Listen, somebody learned that. I forget. Somebody learned that. Was it Jamal?
And Shamari and a few other people.
They learned that lesson. Sheldon?
Sheldon. I'm a part of the single mother brigade, but I don't do the gang.
Guys. You will learn your lesson real fast. It's their preference. Real fast.
It's their preference. Just don't call my specific children baggage.
My specific.
But other than that, have your opinion. From you're not directly calling my children baggage, you can think what you want. I'm just going to educate you on what it is that you're agreeing to. Exactly. I'm going to share that with you. But man can have the preference there, just like Jamal don't like dark-skinned people with tattoos.
Yo, some people don't like ombre body.
Yeah, and he don't like dark-skinned people with blue eye contacts.
Whoa.
Yo, Jamal,
why you so mean, guy?
No, but that's his choice.
Somebody go hug that guy, bro.
But you see how Tanika puts in her contacts, though. Tanika, blink. Go up there, go show them your Betty boobs.
Away you there, Jamal.
Yeah, I saw his stand.
Yo, but the real reason why I did this, I mean, Jamal is allowed to have a choice. Just like how you choose for the light blue, me choose to put in green today. See, so green we can all just let green live and do what they're supposed to do.
Green, gray, hazel, the lighter brown.
No, I don't buy blue.
I like those on black people regardless of your skin tone. But I can kind of see what he's saying with the blue, because the blue don't really fit anybody. But to say that,
blue looks nice.
But it doesn't fit everybody. It doesn't fit everybody. Just like I know a guy, I'm not calling him, but I know a guy who walks around with snake contacts sometimes.
No, nobody wants a snake.
One will be red, one will be yellow, or one will be orange, and one will be like will be white or whatever. Some of you know who I'm talking about. I'm not calling him. Okay, if you know him, you know him. If you don't know him, you don't know. Sometimes he has the two like ultra white contacts in it. It looks like it looks like he has no color in his retina whatsoever. Right. It's just the snake slit. But that's not going to work for everybody. It's not everybody. That works for him. Yeah. It works for him. He looks good in it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to say I don't like people with blah, because some people it can work. Mm-hmm. But that's just Jamal. Jamal loves the mix. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, no.
And he said today he loves the mix. Didn't we tell you a couple weeks ago that Jamal loved mix up and negativity and them things there? And you guys keep taking him in and getting sucked into Jamal's drama.
Jamal is Yeller's Jamal's fishbowl, yo, tappy. That's why I did that for him. Like, I was like, yo, but I want you to know that, like, I can just, there are women out there who can challenge you in a way that is exception to the typical, you know, Joan of Arc, like, let's roast and toast and let's put people at the stake. Because we don't like being on the receiving end of being put at the stake by someone who doesn't understand our plight.
Right.
So we have to start considering what the plight is of the single dating man and what he's really up against. Like, he could be all feeling like he's in some Walking Dead shit. Like, people just want to, he might perceive it that way. Meanwhile, you perceive it as, you know what, you don't understand that we are holding something that can transform you.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of each of you understanding your power.
Why is the single father so quiet?
This is who I need to hear from.
Are there single fathers in the group who are watching this that want to talk on it? No, but they can add their thoughts.
This is who I want to hear from, because I know you're out there. There may not be a whole lot of you, but you're doing something.
But why isn't there a whole lot of single fathers?
You know something? We need to ask that question.
This is a whole other kettle of fish that brings us back to Tyrese.
I see that Jimmy is extremely active in his child's life.
Omar.
Big up Jimmy.
Okay. And so I don't know if it's a 60-40 or an 80-20. I don't know what the split is, but I'm talking about some real
Dougie.
hands-on. Snuggy Dougie. All right?
Snuggy
A
Dougie.
whole heap of sacrifice Snuggy Duck off being children. And so, like, there's men out there doing it. And then you have men out there who can't do it for theirs because you have women withholding their children from the father.
Right.
There's so many different layers to it. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different layers to when the child is being pitted against or only is taught to know daddy for. Oh yeah, papa, big money man, go, you know, and they aren't taught to try to establish a relationship. So I mean, it's a lot of programming and deprogramming that we're out here.
Kind of goes back to the Tyrese topic,
so.
because I think that there's a lot of women out there who probably shouldn't be the sole providers for their children. You know, beat me if you don't want to beat me. But not every woman out there who has children loves and checks for her children. You know, they say they do. They say they do. But if I see you in an $800 install or $600, $400 if you got it off AliExpress, and your kid is steady walking, like your baby's steady walking in hand-me-downs. Not just like periodic. Not just you went to Walmart and got a quick shoes for school. Like, they're steady walking and people broke down.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, I see that. That's not right. You're in name brand. You have a real Michael Kors bag. Whether the crutcher got it for you or not, you have a real Michael Kors bag. And your kid is, your baby's walking around in hand-me-downs. You see me? So some women out there are on some stuff, and the men should be allowed to be the full custody provider.
There's a lot of situations. I've seen it.
Dicey.
This is why when I went on my little video about the secondary and tertiary and invisible cost to being a primary caregiver, why I said that. And I said, any man who's willing to step up and take that challenge for a weekend, when you turn on your light and you see it shine upon you, you have to understand that you got to nourish yourself to nourish your kids. You know what I mean? So are you taking the resources that are being given to you and putting that back in your children? If when you go to the same job that you feel is monotonous, there's a lot of fathers I see that can say, yo, I don't love this job, but what it's teaching me, I'm just going to keep giving it to my kids. You know what I mean? And shout out to those dads. You know what I mean? Like, not every dad is a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant or this. Like, some dads mix mortar. You know what I mean? And when you see your dad come home and he's happy to give you what he got from mix and mortar, that's what makes a difference. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate my dad worked hard still. And when I see him come home, he leaves early. He left early, like 5:36, and come back 8 o'clock. But he worked hard. And I see myself, yo, that's my pops. You know what I mean? I was proud of him. Whether he makes $12 an hour or $120,000, when he came home, I rated him regardless, because that's my pops.
And he's always giving you some parables from what he learned on the job. Not true.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of dads out there. We need to hear more from you.
I love the comments. We have. I want to circle back to something that Joe was talking about with Cardi B, because I think we're coming to the end, and then we have a voice clip from Steve. So look for a 47-second voice note that you have.
Let me get out.
I can always forward it to you so you have it at the top.
Yeah, send it one more time, my dear. I got 19 seconds left.
There you go.
There you go.
Alright.
Okay, so who's this?
This is from Joe Hoskins. This is
Okay, so if you follow hip hop at all and you follow femcees, then you know raunchy content has been the norm for female rappers since forever. If you follow Cardi's lineage, if you go in reverse, then you know Nicki was a hoe. Trina was a hoe. Foxy Brown had the ill nana. Shauna was getting some head.
Yeah.
Lil Kim, everybody. Like almost every female rapper since like the late 90s has been a hoe. Why is it suddenly a problem now? Because the record went to the top of the Billboard charts. It's literally hating on the success. It has nothing to do with the content.
That's
This
true.
is some actual insight. Like, I'm feeling that. What's it for?
That's Joe Hoskins.
Joe
Big up
Hoskins.
Joe.
Making a very.
Joe's an international circle member, so
Yes,
Yeah.
Joe, shout out.
I don't
Shout
know
out.
where he's from, but I know he ain't from
So
Toronto.
Joe, I mean, it must be rather awkward looking at like about 2/3 of the commenters from like one little tiny piece of region in one province in the
Yeah.
whole country.
And Joe,
He's
that
even more
movie,
fun
can I shout out 13th? Joe put me on to a Netflix movie.
Oh, the 13th
and I know it's
Amendment.
not
The 13th
you.
Amendment.
Yeah, I know it's not you, but I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I watched it twice and I just been talking about it all week. Like, yo,
The 13th,
Joe.
it's a powerful documentary. The
Yes.
13th Amendment.
So I know we have some members that people don't necessarily agree with their delivery. Joe's one of them.
But you gotta remember, Joe
it was
didn't.
speaking facts.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing is Joe's from another environment where his perspective is coming from like
So he's not
it's
from.
like a
he's
east
from-
wind to a west wind. So you know what? I guess that could just make me just plug in, y'all. If you're coming in and you're not from the Greater Toronto area, shout out where you're from, because that might help us
Yeah.
be able to frame when you bring in a new perspective. And because we can't hear the audio behind your voice and we're limited to what your output is, if we get a little bit of background, it might help us to receive your contacts and
Well,
frame
no, it's
stuff.
simple. When you send the voice note, say, hey, you know, John from
Mm.
Virginia. You know?
No, I'm talking to everyday commenting.
Yeah.
You know, give us a little bit of background because it might help those who are. You ever had somebody what's nearsighted and they just have to always pull the stuff super close to see it, and then you have someone they're farsighted. We have so many different perspectives in here. Don't be afraid to let us know who you are, where you're from, so that we can better receive you. Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So-
read one comment and then we're gonna talk about the bus trip. Sorry,
Okay,
folks.
sorry.
I
Yeah.
apologize.
Okay.
Ian Frank Foyet, and it was his comment that we, and if I'm butchering your last name, I'm sorry, it might be Ian Frank Foyer. The T might be silent, sorry. It was his topic that we talked about in terms of Cardi B. So thank you for coming through. He wanted to add, I just want to say the day in America, the president is a reality TV star. The #1 song in the world is by a glorified stripper, and the highest paid actor in the world is a wrestler. Can't tell me society isn't fucked up. It really is.
Wow.
I mean,
What's
why?
wrong? I
This
like
is-
the rap. What's
This
wrong
is
with
the
that?
day and age, Joe. And let's not forget that Ronald Reagan was an actor. So this isn't new for
Thank
America
you.
to be
Thank you.
putting people in positions of mass power
He was a football
where their
player
comings
first.
up are different. You see what I'm saying? He did go into office and become governor for a short time, but he got his start as an actor. This isn't the first time. Nothing is new under the sun. And to be quite honest, when it comes to America and mass media, nothing surprises me. So I hear you, but it's just because we have internet and we're able to connect with people on a larger scale that things are more visible.
That's the truth.
you
But
know?
nothing's wrong with the wrestler though. Wrestlers are. Remember? Do you guys remember Hulk Hogan? I know, he's dog shit right now. But I'm talking in 1989, 90, 80s, whatever. Hulk Hogan was the motherfucking shit.
He was, and he was acting. So was Mr. T.
He was acting.
Junkyard Dog was an
Junkyard
actor.
Dog,
Junkyard Dog was in movies and
Hey,
he was on
look,
cartoons.
Jesse the Body Ventura is the governor.
He's a
of-
governor for
of-
California or
No,
whatever.
Minnesota, I think.
Oh, one of them.
One of them.
But yeah, like
Wrestlers are successful. So if The Rock's the best #1 actor.
But they're
wow.
also actors because you got to remember WWF. So the other day I had a humongous policy for someone who trained Andre the Giant.
On what?
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant.
I started cracking up when I was confirming the file and I see his email address. And I was like, so are you a fan? Because he sounded really young. And he's like, no, I'm that guy. And I was like, that guy who? And he was like, I'm giving you permission to hop on over YouTube. Like, I can't do it on the call, but tell me what, you know. Turns out he trained Andre the Giant. He also worked alongside Roddy Piper.
Both of them dead.
It's Hollywood.
Yeah.
A lot of wrestlers died.
People are doing their thing. People are getting paid however they can get paid. I'm not going to knock anybody's hustle.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Bus trip time?
Bus trip.
Okay, people, please work with us here, you know? The casino trip. Niagara.
Document go.
Falls View Casino.
Hold on.
November 25th. 2-5.
So how many
on a
spots?
Saturday.
Okay, so guys, you got to, I think the cutoff is the 15th.
The cutoff is November 15th.
Which is really not that far
Really
away.
not that far
if
away.
you got paid today, that means you'll be struggling to try to fly in your orders next Thursday.
This
which
is
won't
paid
even
week.
work. It won't work.
Tell them about it.
The first was a few days ago, so don't tell me that your rent or your mortgage wasn't paid. Mine's not due till the 15th, so you see me? If yours was due for the first, you done paid your stuff already. If you didn't pay it already, don't be so
cheap.
Don't be so. Don't make the stereotypes true about us not paying stuff on time.
Thank you.
But you can, I'm sure, break at 25 if you're coupling with your friend, because now a couple can be two friends.
Yeah, a couple can be
you
two
can,
friends.
Anybody in the circle.
Yeah.
And it's 25 instead of 30 a person.
Mm-hmm. So, that being said, and we did say the couple is inside the circle, right?
Yeah, well.
Well, no, it could bring anybody.
It could be anybody, you and anybody.
Are we good with that?
Yeah.
But you have to be able to vet them, though.
Yeah, you can vet them. Bullshit, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we're working on wrapping those up. We know that it's pay week for many. What we don't want to see is the Thursday of the cutoff and everybody's trying to fly their shit in.
Not even that. There's not many seats left.
Yeah, that too. You may just fill up because there are people who are sending in their shit.
And look, I can't hold your seat. Okay.
Yeah, there's no holding.
I love
Sorry.
you, but this is not that kind of bus.
Yeah.
Love don't pay for the bus.
This is it.
So you have to send your money to reserve your seat. Your seat is not secure without your money, honey.
This is it. And people are sending in their deposits. So what's the email address, please?
So if you want to send your money in, you want to get a ticket, get on this. Gonna DM Lisa Thompson here, and she'll provide you the payment info for the email transfer, right?
Autumn's able to do cash pickup. She's agreed to meet people on.
Yeah, okay.
She's in the East End. I'm in the West End. I can meet people on the West. She can meet people in the East.
That's Autumn Fairfax.
If you're afraid of EMT for some reason,
She said afraid of.
because I know everybody has internet. Look how much of you is tuned in with us right now.
Right?
You pay your internet bill. You have access to Wi-Fi. But if you're still scared of EMT, I can meet you. Autumn can meet you. EMT, I can walk you through the steps. It's no problem. Whatever works for you.
So that's $25 per ticket for one person.
If you pair up with somebody. If you can't find somebody to pair up for some reason, unfortunately, you have to pay the single price of $30.
Yeah. So it's 30 for a single. It's 50 for a couple, but that's 25 each if you're within the couple.
And I get that a lot of people want to drive, but if you drive, there's no bus trip if everybody drives. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to be on the bus. We're paying extra so that we can have a bus with Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
The bus is going to have a DVD player. You're going to parking lot pimp with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be at both locations turning off.
Open.
Okay?
And we got the Smokers Club in the building. The Smokers
Big
Club.
up the Smokers Club.
Yeah.
If you smoke, you need to be over and parking lot pimping
Yes.
with the circle before we get on the bus.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Niagara. We're going to turn up in Niagara. They're not going to know what hit them. Y'all want to get your circle tees.
This is it. We put in how many orders?
You want to get your circle tees.
Are you still with us? We had orders today, guys.
I'm trying to get a
listen,
circle sweater. I'm going to have my
be a
name on
cutoff
my
time for
sweater.
them,
My
too.
stuff's going to be turned all the way up.
Yeah,
So
man.
if you want to come and turn up with us, and on the way back, you know, the turn up's going to get more real because we're on the way back home, and some of us is going to be balling.
You bet. You bet. You bet.
Cha-ching, ching.
Cha-ching.
Here come the Stefan.
Oh yeah, Doug is giving away one.
Oh,
Doug
so,
is giving away a
So
ticket.
do we
Let's hear it.
do we give that away with the start to followers or?
so this month, as you guys know, we do a contest every month for the top member with the highest engagement. For this month, October, it was the kid, right, with the best costume, which was Nikki Austin. Congratulations to
Big up Stefan.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That was cute.
So let's see now. There's one free ticket, folks, for the casino. One free ticket. So if you can't reach, we have one. We need a reason to give it away. Right?
We're gonna come up with a reason.
We'll let you know.
And then we'll let you know how it works next week. Because next week will be the last full week before payments are due.
Yes.
So stay tuned for next Thursday.
Yep.
And we'll tell you how you can win a free seat to the casino.
Yeah, man.
All right.
All right.
Anything else?
So I think that's it. Guys, we had a full week. I think winter is really hitting everybody
Winter
now.
is coming.
Like, we're like, yo, why am I so tired? Just want to encourage everybody. Alicia, what's the latest we can park? Lisa said, Alicia B says, what's the latest we can park at the parking lot without getting a ticket?
Honestly, I've been off work this week because I have carpal tunnel and I haven't been on my computer as much. I've been on my phone because I can voice text. I need to connect with security on a few different ways. And one of the ways that I need to connect with them is by email, and I just cannot sit down and voice text the email. I'm sorry, it takes too long. It's too much editing, and God knows my wrists are sore. It's not too sore for me to put some wine to my face, but the texting thing, yeah, I'm working on it. I will have some updates on you guys soon.
Okay. So next up, so we're gonna get back to Alicia about the parking at the Square One. And do you want to try to give her, Alicia?
Well, parking at both facilities, at Yorkdale and Square One.
Yeah.
Just find out. I believe the cutoff is 1.
I'm working. I have to talk with security about a special exception.
Okay. So this is why confirmation of your spot may help strengthen your ability to not have to park and walk. So find who you're gonna buddy up with, and even if you guys get on the bus as a couple, you can park as singles, and the numbers that we get might help us to secure the security to just back off on the parking a little bit, because you don't want to have to walk nowhere when you reach back home.
When you
off
reach
the
back,
bus, right?
Yeah.
So confirm your numbers rather quickly if you're a couple. That way we know we can work with security and say, yo, we have a larger party, whatever. Is that what you're working on, Lisa? Something like that? So guys, thank you so much again. This is week 10.
Thanks for coming through for week 10. Oh wait, we've got music from Kimberly August.
This is Tumpus's pick. So what are we?
You gotta play that Kimberly August track.
The one that you wanted to.
The one you just played.
See if you can run it since you're
How the
connected.
fuck am I gonna do that?
What song was it? You're connected. You play it.
You're the one that's connected.
I know, but what song was it? What song was it? The one you're playing.
Okay, put me on YouTube and I'll do it right there.
Right here. Wait, hold on.
So hold on. There was some you know what I like to do? And I like to look at the comments when you guys are in there talking, because you guys have some honest to God insight. Sometimes I feel so left out because I can't keep up with your comments. Young boy, big up yourself. Block, yes, Miss Zia.
Miss Zia, the evolution of Mr.
Marcia.
Young Boy. Shout out Block. Shout out Nathaniel.
Yeah, shout out the circle in general, man.
Big up to yourself.
Yeah.
If you've been watching from start to finish,
day 1 to day 10.
Drop us some Easter eggs from, like, drop us some points about how we want to know you've been following with us from day 1.
Yeah.
We're going to work something out for our day 1 people.
So big up everybody. The Circle episode 10. Jeez. You know what I mean? We got Lisa Thompson. Your boy Big J, you already know. TK.
Take care.
Miserable the Grinch over here.
Big Daddy Tom.
Yeah. You know what I mean? We just, thank you everybody. We're gonna end the night with the beautiful voice of Miss Kimberly August, and the song is called All Four. Big up Kimberly.
Yo, that song got fire.
That song
Kimberly,
turn up.
Your thing shot.
The thing up, top it up.
Let's play.
Let's hear it.
We have to turn it off on the left side.
My thing.
You guys never know. The soul train.
It was all for you. It was all for you. It was all for you. You took it up to my tonight. You wanna keep you on my Said only if it came to me. Well, I would've really gonna fight you. Well, maybe I'm just a fool, but I see I was always gonna fight for you. It was all 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 for you. There is no distance, no mountain too high, no big heart so strong. Literally, if it came to it, well,